Well, quick question. To go a little away from what it is that we're speaking about. Did you see our Prime Minister make a post yesterday?
No, what did Bro God say?
Listen,
Dr. Honorable Bro God.
Doctor, the Honorable.
Yes.
He tapped into, what young people are calling the saxophones getting louder, right? He posted the probability forecast as it relates to the heat that we're expecting to get for all of August, right? And
I like when
so,
Maron joke about that. That's
I
not
tell you,
funny.
Bridget,
Better than the funny.
Bridget,
It's not funny.
listen. But I think what he was trying to do was relate to us,
Yeah.
and kind of say, "Oh, we're
If
all
you
in
not-
this together."
if we can't laugh, we have a ball, no, I don't like that.
I tell you.
Let me see him post. What am I say about the saxophones that get louder like when the eat are up forward?
Listen, so the government of Jamaica is advising the public, this was the post, that above normal temperatures are expected across Jamaica through August 29, 2026, through to August 29, 2026. The outlook shows warmer than normal conditions for the period of August 9 to 15, August 16 to 22, and August 23 to 29. As temperatures remain elevated, the public is encouraged to stay hydrated, limit prolonged exposure to the midday heat, and check on children, older persons, and other vulnerable individuals. Now, as he says, vulnerable individuals.
I feel very vulnerable.
Let me tell you something. You ever see our homeless gentlemen on the side of the street kind of sprawl out, and them look quite comfortable and actually pass one with foot cock up, make a 10, right? And he was quite fine. It was midday and he was just out there chilling. And I can barely walk from point A to point B in the sun. How would them develop some resistance against the sun? I can't understand it. And really and truly, those persons, I'm hoping, right, that the government has some plan of action as it relates to where those persons can go, especially in these times, because me here say all overseas people are dropped down dead as a result of, the heat wave. So hopefully there is somewhere that these persons can go. You understand, are most vulnerable.
Why they're very resilient. I give them that because I always thought to myself, where do they go when it rains? The bus stops are flooded out. Half of the time, the roof of the bus stops aren't adequate to shelter from rain. Maybe sun hot, sure, but when breeze blow inside of them. I always, growing up as a kid, I always wondered, where do they go? And the worst part about homelessness in Jamaica is it's not really a personal failure of poverty, because you have everybody have an auntie, uncle, brother, cousin, brethren, baby mother where you can catch, right? And we understand the concept of catching as Jamaican. Every Jamaican has had some random family member or somebody who them tell you says a family member live in your yard at one point, or you've lived in somebody's yard at one point. God knows I've done it. Big up McCoy in London. Up to now, I don't know how we're related, but you know what I mean? Big up yourself. Thank you. And I've had cousins who, you know what I mean, just they are the yard for years. That's family. You can't throw them out. But that's the worst part of homelessness in Jamaica is you become homeless after you've exhausted every relation that you've had, and them literally throw you out a road.
Not all the time.
Well, we have a commercial break, so I don't know if people are hearing me on the radio. But yeah. Do I continue talking? The commercial break didn't happen? Okay, well. I really have to speak about the fact that, that is the result of homelessness in Jamaica. It's because you've exhausted all of your connections and relations, and people just can't put up with you. They don't think they can safely handle you in their households. They don't have the resources or the equipment or whatever it is to properly take care of you. And you just end up a road. They kick you out, they send you out, you have to go fend for yourself. And it's almost always a result of mental illness. I mean, when you see these guys on the road, particularly the perpetually homeless, They're talking to themselves. They're staring intently at things that aren't there. They're digging through garbage to eat garbage. It's not really it's not really because they're broke or they're uneducated or they're just down on their luck. No, it's because of mental illness and we don't know how to treat it and handle the situations. And it's really, every time I see it, I think, God, what's being done? I went down to Bellevue. I believe when I went to Bellevue, it was January when I did my tour. I don't remember exactly when I went to Bellevue. I went to Bellevue earlier in the year. And I did a tour of the facility. And first of all, I want to thank the staff there. They're very kind and courteous. And I genuinely got the vibe that the staff there care. From the administrators to the cleaning staff, people there worked with a smile on their face and they were patient and they were very understanding. But when I went to Bellevue, half of the rooms that are available can't be used. There's no roofs. There's no proper infrastructure. They didn't have enough beds. There was damage there from over 10, 20, 30 years. And all of the money that they have is spent on care and providing food and providing medicine. And they just don't have the budget to further expand the facility. And the truth is, it's not a facility for long-term abandonment care. That's what, with most of the cases, particularly with older people, they literally, I spoke to a man who was a nice old man. Yes, he was schizophrenic. Yeah, you never know what going on. He might tell me some story about when he was a professional cricketer. but he was a nice old man. And he was there from 1972. He was a resident at Bellevue from 1972. And this was a very kind, cool, not violent. He was allowed to walk up and down the place and thing and whatever. He was there from 1972. Right? I mean, these facilities aren't designed for long-term care, and this is what we do. We abandon people, and the places, the resources are exhausted. They don't have the proper infrastructure to begin with, and we don't have any sort of real care or knowledge as it relates to mental illness. Half of the people them down there, they're just if they were taking medication consistently, if they had access to medication consistently and access to somebody with a little bit of empathy in their lives, they wouldn't be forced to be at Bellevue for long extended periods of time. If people actually, were considerate and patient and understanding, a lot of these people, they're only at harm to themselves, right? And really didn't make me feel away, and it makes me feel worse when I see all of the guys on the road that are homeless, because in Jamaica, you're only homeless when everybody give up on you. You understand? And that's because and it's 99% of the time because of mental illness that's out of control.
I don't think that that's the case in all situations. You did say 99, and so we have to look at that 1% as well, because I do know. I don't know if you saw him, but every single carnival, that man is on the road and he might dance up a storm. You understand? And what I get to understand, because I mentioned it to somebody and I said, how comes nobody don't see him and try to assist him and take him up off of the road? And a gentleman said he was actually in a year group at George's, and the George's boys came together and tried on several occasions to help him out of the situation that he was in, and he constantly found himself back there. So,
yeah, because he's mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like some of them can't work with routines and structure. Exactly. and they just can't.
Exactly. And it's not for a lack of us not having certain facilities. It's perhaps those facilities need to be a little bit better equipped to keep them there once they're there. But
but keeping them can't be the way. Keeping them isn't the answer. Keeping them doesn't, it just makes it's just a further strain on the limited resources that we have. We only have one hospital that's dedicated to mental illness and treating mental illness, right? We only have one place where they have all of the proper equipment and the trained therapists and trained doctors, and it just can't work.
So perhaps better equipped all around. We need more resources, and we saw the president of the Nurses Association saying this very same thing the other day.
We really, it's just our approach to humanity. We really have to find some more empathy as a people, and you know what I love to lead it back to, of course, the brutality that was experienced by people for hundreds of years, right? But it's allowed us to view some people as not human. We really dehumanize other people in this country. We dehumanize criminals. We dehumanize the mentally ill. We dehumanize the poor. The amount of people I saw on Twitter that were like, yeah, man, I that for reach them. How dare they build houses on land where them know them a squat pan, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, like, they're poor. They have nowhere else to go. I mean...
Well, you know my views on that already. Claus. I do believe that they ought to take some personal accountability, some responsibility as to, how it is that they've ended up here. However, the fact that they are in this position now, like I said yesterday and I will say again, we now need to band together and assist them out of the position that they're in. And we have received further information, because yesterday I was of the view that they did not take certain actions which were available to them. You understand? They did not exercise the adverse possession process in order to own the land. But what I'm hearing is that, and we still haven't gotten the story straight, but what I am hearing now is that they have been warned. So what they're saying is false, that they haven't received any warning, haven't received any notice, and that this matter has been before the court even from before 2009. You understand?
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that we can have a little empathy, and we don't have to exercise cruelty.
It doesn't.
And be dismissive of people and say, oh, well, you did have all this wear and tear and whatever. No, we can be even slightly caring as it relates to sensitive topics like imminent homelessness. We can even be a little considerate.
No, agreed. Agreed.
And what I saw, the sentiments that I saw particularly on Twitter, I don't see you guys at the golf club. I've never seen you guys. I've never played polo with you guys. In fact, I walk past you guys to go into Club Kingston when I'm flying out, and I'm seeing them rage against these squatters. And how dare they? And that for reach them. And yes, a long time them should have get up and see how nasty they, I saw an entire thread talking about the entitlement of the poor. And I'm like, big man, you think you're rich? You're speaking as if you're one missed paycheck away from these guys. You're one car accident away from these guys. You're one sickness in your family away from these guys.
I thought you were championing empathy just now.
I am, but I'm trying to say that these people have no right to be so cruel to these poor people, because they're not wealthy. They're speaking as if they're, yes, and how dare they? And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I've never seen you on the golf course. I've never played polo with you. How's your yacht at Maiden Key? I've never seen you at Maiden Key. So I see them go against these people, and Ray and the poor are so entitled, and they had so much time, and what if they squatted your land? And I'm like, bro, you don't have land for them to squat on. Why are you so mad? Why are you so angry about this? You're literally one bad day away from being in these people's position. The least you can do is be a little considerate.
Well, we saw certain sentiments being postulated, being expressed by a member of parliament. And I'm gonna let you listen to it. I'm gonna let you listen to it, and you tell me what you think.
Some house and him affiguing from the government and when him put him plaque on the house, then when him affiguing back, rip it off when they're done, because if them not give a back house, Tova can't win down there. Right now, anywhere should they be a twep. Prime Minister for go keep cabinet meeting and know say she have to give a back on the house. And we not ease up off of them neck. Because government are creatures of the Constitution. And the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wanna bet me, if you think I lie, me I tell. So all someone we never up there. Take all 1 foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up there and say, see where left here? Yeah. Choppy line pan them, cause anybody we in a that place there where them bulldoze, you have to get back a house out of government. And it now gonna be no trailer. Bet say you get land. I bet on that. Yeah. So make we be dialectic thinkers now. And then you can screen record this and make Andrew know say I have to find house and land for you now. And we'll never see back Trelawney. And watch. I go buy one green suit and put it down. But it's true, I know them like make video of me and say I hope I'm work. But I go buy one green suit and everybody when them I get them house, I go show up in my one green suit. And say I told you so. Yeah man, me say so. So when you think on the body, you know, when you don't have a clue, animal farm this. On a performative government. Land is for the people. Wake the town and tell the people of Trinidad, St. Thomas you see this bulldozing thing are the last days of it. And if we talk to people like them are human beings.
You're listening to Sleek Radio, 93 FM.
Yeah. I don't fully disagree with what he said. I don't think residents should be encouraged to chop the line.
Oh, okay, because I was just saying,
think,
are you advocating for chopping?
I don't think government ministers and elected officials should be imploring people to, and I quote, chop the government. I don't think
I don't think he was. I can't fathom that he was being serious. Just now.
I
don't think he was being that.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but you know, even if you are not being serious, you understand, you have a platform and people will actually take you seriously. So you have to be very careful with what it is that you do say.
You can't say that.
Yeah, you can't.
Obvious sarcasm or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next thing to like, I'm all for our elected officials and stuff speaking to the people, especially in the way in which the people listen, right? On the TikTok lives
on TikTok live.
Yeah, but it kind of, I don't say American politicians or the British MPs or German elected officials or any of these developed nations. I don't see any of these developed nations having their government officials address them on a TikTok live.
I think it's just because Trump hasn't found TikTok.
No, he has his own thing, Truth Social, and you have to pay to hear from him. But hey, guess what? I'm glad that we have somebody who's speaking to the people directly, especially where they listen. So the liquor things, that's cool. I'm very grateful. Yeah. You see, here's the thing now,
but
and
it's
I'm gonna.
Unacceptable.
Here's what I have to say about all of this. There's so much crown land that is delinquent, right? Crown land that is not in use. We have people that are squatting. 700,000 Jamaicans are reported to be living on land they don't have titles for, right? We have over 2 million acres of land in Jamaica. I think it's 2.4 million acres of land in Jamaica. Almost half of it is crown land. Almost half of the crown land is not in use. It's not being used, right? Now, we need to have an actual conversation about how government elected officials weaponize public housing and use squatting and public housing availability to kind of control people's voting and what parties they are for and that kind of stuff. And this has been around. This is the entire concept of garrison politics and donship and where this all kind of came from in the 70s and 80s. And it doesn't, you know what's so amazing to me? All of these extremely political garrison communities are the worst, underprivileged, and most deprived communities in our entire country. They're the most violent, they're the most unclean, they're the ones with the least economic opportunities. And it's been this way for close to 60 years. The communities that are most political in nature, they're the most deprived. They're the most underfunded. They're the most under-resourced. Their schools perform the worst. The communities are the most violent. The people tell you about, I come from Dessa, I'm bad. You can't tell me nothing because I come from whatever garden and I'm bad. You understand? And these are the most politically involved communities. These are the ones where them are die-hard JLP, them are die-hard PNP. Them see them MP all the while, them know them MP, Ray. And these are the worst areas in the country. So we have to have a serious conversation about how they're weaponizing poverty and they're weaponizing all of this stuff and public housing and all these things to keep people stuck in the slog of JLP versus PNP, where it's literally the people that are making decisions against everybody else. That's what it really comes down to. It's a class issue. And it's disguised as a governmental problem because we can't read. And they purposefully deprive people from reading. They purposefully do this. Why aren't they funding the community? Why aren't they funding the schools in these impoverished communities? The schools don't have funds. The schools don't have funds. But them get KFC and curry goat when it's election time.
But hold on now. Right? When we're saying schools don't have funds and things like that, in my view, correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't money been allocated? I sat down
Money's
and
always allocated.
Hold on,
Remember they took back the 770 million out of the 1 billion? Money's always allocated.
Hold on, I sat down and I listened to a speech, I believe it's from our education minister, in terms of how much money is not just being earmarked, but was sent to the schools, right? And how much is going to be sent for this academic year coming up. So in my view, is it that the money is not being sent? Or is it that when the money is sent, the administrations don't properly put the money where it needs to be used? You have told us right here that you saw, you went to a particular school and you saw all of the cars that, principal, everybody I drive nice.
My car, two, and for them car, yeah. Not asking you.
Right?
Yeah.
We beep and they were driving pom.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, Claus, it is not just a case where we have to say, all right, government is not.
I'm not just talking about
but
the schools and funds. I'm talking about the entire concept of how they underserve these communities to keep them perpetually reliant on government services. They're not giving these people any opportunity for upward social mobility. They're not giving these people any real, and yes, personal accountability has to be taken and yes, sure, whatever. But these are communities that have been for decades held hostage by these politicians. And yes, we have the 1 and 2 people who make it out, and God bless them. But they're outliers. They're outliers, right? And everybody thinks, yeah, man, chop the line 2 times and sell drugs and we'll make it out and Ray. I don't see you guys at the golf course. The guys chopping the line and I don't see you guys at the maiden key. And you zoom past me on the toll with your Mark X and you're going real fast. Yeah? But I'm not seeing you at DB in the villas. You're
see them in the villa?
No, I'm not seeing them in the villa. I'm not seeing them. So you're not making real money anyways either. We had Damian Crawford on here and he said, if the testament to the choppers is a Crown or a Mark X, a mid-level sedan, I'm not having the money. So they're even where you think you're yeah man, we'll cry man, we'll make it out and we'll sing 2 songs and Ray and bro, it's education is the way for sustained upward social mobility.
Yeah.
To get your life out of something where you have a skill you can repeat to make money, it's through education. You can sell as many drugs and chop the line as much as you want. How are you going to legitimize the money in today's day and age? You can't legitimize the money in today's day and age. Everybody has tracking. First of all, if you have 9,000 US dollars in cash, you're a criminal. If you go to the bank and say, yeah man, I'm smart, I go just draw the direct number underneath where they have to do the FID checks and whatever. Bro, no legitimate person in Jamaica, no legitimate person in the world has that amount of cash. You think you can go somewhere and buy a car cash? Buy a house cash? This is 2026. You think you can't even, bro, you can't even go to a bank and say, give me 10,000 US dollars. They don't have that in the bank. So I'm just tired of it. I'm tired.
I hear you. And you know, it's a little bit disheartening when we see persons with platforms pushing the whole scamming thing, joke or no joke, sarcasm or no sarcasm. You know, we need to hold persons accountable.
I don't find it funny.
Right. And you're not alone, because this was the response that we saw from the JLP.
Shadow cabinet to publicly advocate for people to perpetrate a scam in order to benefit without just cause from resources which belong to the taxpayers of Jamaica is most disgraceful, unacceptable, and unbecoming. It is unprincipled, and Buchanan should introspect on his comments and recognize the egregious nature of what he has advocated for. But I tell you what, the opposition spokesman's comments are symptomatic of a mentality historically and currently promoted by the opposition, where they often appear to openly support law-breaking and disorder in society. This cannot be the way for lawmakers to conduct ourselves. We should not be advocating for anarchy in society, supporting dishonest conduct, and certainly should resist any urge to encourage people to seek to benefit via false pretense. However, again, the sentiments are consistent with the conduct of the opposition and their promotion of indecency and unlawful conduct. Therefore, I am not expectant that the opposition leader will hold his spokesman accountable for the wanton advocacy of scamming and violation of the law, which Buchanan appeared to endorse in his sentiments articulated on TikTok.
Oh, I just heard, and please guys, I hate the People's National Party just as much as I hate the Jamaica Labour Party. I don't think they do anything for Jamaica. But I heard he said that the opposition has a long-standing support of criminality and criminal natures. Can somebody tell me about the shower posse? I'm not educated enough. I don't know my history well enough. Can somebody tell me about what the shower posse is? The other day I was reading and I saw a name, Vivian Blake. Who's that guy? Can somebody tell me about that? No? You know anything? Maybe I should, but I don't trust Google. Can somebody come and tell me about the shower posse? I'm very confused. Well, there was a guy, I think they call him Prezi. I think he's supposed to be released soon. Who's that guy? Prezi? What did he do again? No comment? You know who I'm talking about, right? From this area in, I think it's West Kingston. No? I'm just a little confused. I don't like to see any of these guys moral grandstand. They're wicked. They're wicked people, and they're hypocritical. The Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. Because there's another guy, what was his name? I think it's Bebe, something like that. I don't know. I don't really know. I think he was a PNP activist. I'm not really sure. No, I don't know. Anyways, I'm just asking questions because I don't know. And I'd love for somebody to tell me otherwise. Because I'm just speculating because I really don't know.
You know, it is good when you're having these discussions to be very fair in the things that you say, right? If you can say something like, oh, tell us about shower posse, I'm pretty sure you have people on the other side that can say, oh, tell us about Spanglers.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I want us to tell us about them.
Sure,
tell us about Spanglers. Tell us about Shaw Posse. Tell us about Dodos. Tell us about Bebe.
Hey,
tell us about these guys.
Tell us about
because I'm
Tel Aviv
confused.
faction.
Yeah,
you
I'm
understand?
confused.
And so it is in my view wrong.
Who's Donovan Bennett? Who's that? I think his alias was Bolby.
But you know, let him that have ears hear.
Oh. I don't know. I've just seen these names. I don't really know, you know. Don't know who these guys are. So I just find it so funny and cute when they try and morally grandstand on each other. You're both wicked. You guys are both wicked.
No, but I think if you're going to be fair clause, right? Let us deal with the issue at hand. We're not talking about what has happened in the past, right? And it's very irregular for me to go toe to toe with you on these particular topics. But if we're going to be fair, talk about the issue at hand, which is that we have seen consistently within this particular government period where accountability is lacking on one side.
On one side?
On one side.
What about the 1.8% of money?
If you would
and the
allow
136 million from Hurricane Beryl.
If you would allow me, because I know you know how to calm down. I sat here and I listened to you, right? So
it's not one side.
So hold on, right? And let me finish. We have seen where on one side, they don't come out and say, okay, we are renouncing what has happened here. On the other side, when something happens, be it that they're not as organized as we would like, be it that the story not add up, but they still come out and they still try to tell us, all right, to the best of their abilities, what is happening. So I think that
we
is.
Forget Thursday payday, though. We forget Thursday payday.
Oh, I'm saying, Regine.
We forget.
Back up, no man.
We forget the Thursday
back
payday.
Back up, Mama Don. Right? Because you're about to Darvo. I need you to not Darvo right now.
Okay.
We're talking about the issue at hand. Where it is, and we've seen on two separate occasions, Claus, where, certain comments that are a little bit unsavory, certain comments that are unacceptable, unfavorable, even this comment right here, we would have expected for the leader of the opposition to come out and say, okay, we're not really in support of this. While we understand what he's trying to say, that little part about breaking off Bedfoot and, going and trying to get a house and benefiting from, taxpayers' dollars, we don't condone that. We haven't seen that as yet. But we've seen other comments from the opposition leader. And we're only saying address it.
They've been terrible at addressing corruption. Look at even the voice note leaks.
Yes.
But that doesn't. But I hate that you're trying to push the goal. No, the two of these people are wicked and terrible.
Bridging, all I'm telling you.
Both of them are morally corrupt. They're both morally corrupt.
All I'm telling you.
But one is more corrupt than the other.
All I'm telling you is that don't come here and tell us about the Shower Posse without saying, okay, so Spanglers did that too.
But that's my point. My point is that both of these parties, he's trying to say it's only the opposition has a history of corruption and supporting criminality.
No,
but that's not the truth.
We're speaking about
that's not the truth, Danae.
We're speaking about a particular issue. We're speaking about the two instances that we've seen back to back where the opposition leader has not come out and said, hey,
So what about the guy that he still has in cabinet?
Heart of the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. This is